So here I create a sphere, then I create under, what's it, pyro effects, create an explosion at the top. So in here I basically mess around with some settings. These don't really matter that much. The only one that matters is the 0.15 in the pyro. So here, yeah, that one. Everything else you can just mess around with yourself. Just decide whatever settings you want. You can follow mine if you want. But yeah, they're just basic effects that are going to change how the explosion looks. They don't really matter that much. So now I go up to the pyro import, and then inside import pyro fields, you're basically going to change the name, so the geometry file name, so it's just BGO, and then you're going to change the frame to 100, so you've only got 100 frames. You do that in the lower right corner. That's basically that bit, and then you just save to disk, and that's just going to save, like, you don't even have to change any of that really, but it just saves the animation to 100 frames instead of having a larger animation. Just make this a short animation. But yeah, that's the basic effect. Yeah, and then I go into the, I was changing the sphere off. Now I go into the pyro import and just, yeah, basically changing some settings, adding a box. You basically, the box is going to be the points. This box is going to be the points, and these points are going to determine where the voxels are going to be. So we basically add some expressions here in the divisions. Basically, adding these expressions is like, it's going to create the points for the voxel explosion. Going to do that for each one. So you get to change each one slightly. So it's going to be, you get to copy that to the Y and the X, and then add 1 for the Y and 2 for the X. Sorry. But now we can kind of see how it's following the basic kind of area, and then we're going to add a attribute. What was it? Attributes from volume. Yeah, that's the one. You're going to add attributes from volume here. We're going to connect that to the import pyro fields and box. Then in here we're going to basically give it the density. So now we're going to see, yeah, we should also, yeah, so select the blue thing to see the most current effect. So now we can see the explosion inside there, but it's going to be points. The next thing we're going to do is create a delete. So we're going to delete the previous, well, the bits we don't need. So we're going to delete non-selected points, and we're going to put that as not a pattern, it's going to be yeah, an expression. So yeah, and then I need to actually click the blue thing again, so now we can see the points, the explosion as points instead of, yeah. So we're getting there. Like, it shouldn't be that much longer actually. It's probably going to be about maybe about 10 minutes, maybe less. So now that we've got this, we're gonna do the attribute again, attribute from volume again, and then we're going to connect the attribute to the delete and the import pyro fields. Then in here we're going to add the heat. That's going to make it different colours, basically give it much more of a fruity effect. Then in the I don't know what I do here. Do I actually? Yeah, I think I just go straight there. I think I actually missed something. You basically still get the same sort of effect. We're going to change the input range to 0 to 0.1. So basically here I'm just gonna change some effects. We're just gonna map the volume to value. We open this little graph up. We could just kind of change this. I mean, you can change this how you want. It just makes the values more broad, basically. But we're getting up to adding colour next. Giving it some colour. I'm sorry about, I'm really bad at these tutorials. This is basically the first tutorial I've ever done. Sorry about that. But yeah, we're basically getting there now. So yeah, here's where we're adding the colour. So you basically, on one end, you want a very, let's say, orangey to yellow, something that's the main explosion colour, and then you want to add another one that's more, lower down to red to orange, and then another one that's quite red. I mean, you can I'd probably advise just messing around with this yourself. And then the very end, you want kind of a greyish colour at the very end, because that's going to be like the smoke. Yeah, just kind of play around with this. That's what I do. I mean, I did this quite fast. I was just trying to get it out, really. This one, my first one took ages because the rendering took a lot of time. I'm not going to render this properly. This is just you can figure out how to render it, or if you really want me to, I could go through that. But yeah, but basically now we're seeing, the actual explosion, how it's going to look, but in points. The next thing we're going to do is add the just going to add another box that's going to be the voxel. That's the next part. Yeah, I'm just messing around with the colours. I don't know why it really doesn't matter. Oh yeah, so I changed the range to be quite a lot higher, because then you get more of the it's much more vibrant, it's much more like an explosion would be. It looks kind of messed up on my version. I don't know why that is. I think I changed some settings somewhere and I haven't changed them back. So now I'm adding the box, and this is where you need the uniform scale to be the same. So 0.15 it's something I did previously. Just make sure that's 0.15. It's basically got to be the same as the pyro inside. I forgot what it's called. Basically, if you go back one, that's the pyro effect, I think it is. And inside there's a pyro one where I put the divisions to 0. So basically, the next thing I do is create a copy stamp to connect the box to the attribute from volume. So we just kind of add these two together. I don't know what I was doing there. But yeah, so now what I'm doing is just going over it and changing some stuff. And so basically the last thing you want to do is create an animation with the flip book. So basically what I wanted to say was this is just the animation it's not like properly rendered or anything. But I could go over that if you want, if just send me a message or anything. Anyway, cheers.